Stephen, 20th of 25, after the technical programs, was skating for pride in this, his first Olympic singles campaign.
Certainly spins very well centered, but at the end of it just there, he just seemed to lean back a bit. Triple toe loop, double toe loop. Circular step sequence there. The triple salto. Well, he's put the jumps in all right. Unfortunately, that double axel wasn't landed too well. He had to do a turn immediately after the landing.
Well, a creditable showing for the young Sydney-sider against the best in the world. That performance would be good enough to place him 18th. Also skating early tonight, the 1988 Olympic champion Brian Boitano, trying to put the disappointment of his short program performance well and truly behind him.
Brian Boitano.
And Boitano, as I said, 8th in the technical program. Come back because in 1988 he was the gold medalist. Triple looks to start. He unfortunately fell off the triple axel. He made the double toe loop afterwards, but the landing from the triple axel wasn't right. Triple toe salto, or a flip, as we're going to call it, and a double toe loop. Double axel, and of course his movements around the ice are very good because he's had those years as a professional and he knows how to sell his skills. And that spin was really very well centered. It's what's known as a spread eagle. And it's marvelous control. A triple axel, and it was a good one. Good height, good length. And the triple toe salto with the landing wasn't quite as good. Now really moving around the ice very smoothly indeed. Yes, they liked it. They liked it. It was a good program by Boitano. Pity about that falling off the triple axel at the beginning on what would have been the combination jump, but he picked it up, he came back, and he ended with superb artistry on the ice. And my goodness, the flowers are coming from almost every direction. I hope all the young ladies will be able to pick them up. But for Brian Boitano, that was really quite a comeback.
The skating world would be pleased for him. We've seen something of the real Brian Boitano. Curious that he should make the mistake on the combination exactly as he did in the technical program. Look at the control. The hand, arm up in the air, is his own style. It just shows total control of balance and turning in the air. Lovely shoulder position. And look at this for a spread eagle. I mean, he's just out for a little glide around. Made it look so easy.
Once more, we have to remind you that the use of photo flashes is strictly forbidden.
The height of that triple axel and the running edge when he landed.
And take your cameras away. Thank you.
And the death drop from a great height into the sitting position. There were mistakes. It didn't all work as he would have wished, but he returned on many occasions there to the style that we saw in Calgary. Linda Lever will be much happier, and the technical merit marks start with a 5.7, dip to a 5.4, but there are plenty of 5.6s there as well, and no question that we have a new leader in the competition. But he left himself with so much ground to make up after failures in the technical program. The artistic impression, the Japanese judge gives him 5.8, and there are 4 5.7s. And as I said, he's in the lead. We'll be back at the...
Don't forget tomorrow night.
And now we wait as the announcement comes for this very well-known gentleman. I wonder if he's going to do his Humphrey Bogart again. Kurt Browning, 4 times world champion, 6 in the last Olympic Games. Didn't have a good technical program, but is so always a very good and entertaining skater. Great height on that triple axel. A single toe loop afterwards. Combination came off. Circle and looped. Double toe loop there. Straight line step sequence down the ice. Triple flip. The music that he loves. And he gets a reaction from the audience. That was a very funny jump indeed, in keeping with the music, I suppose. A neat combination of jumps at the end there, double axel and toe loop, and the Canadian flags obviously being waved all around the building. Well, it's still not quite the same Kurt Browning we used to know, but he's still a very entertaining skater. He put all he got into it. The moves were good and very entertaining. Now we have to see how the 9 people who are judging the competition as a competition will look upon that program.
Well, he would have made a very popular Olympic champion. I don't exactly know what the animal is that's been thrown. It's a horse, I think, because that's where he comes from Rocky Mountain House in Alberta. Just actually lives in Caroline now, and his parents have a ranch there. Full of emotion, Kurt Browning. He hoped that this would be his championship. It proved not to be the case. He's been troubled by sinus problems, and he made all sorts of errors in the technical program, and in 12th position knew he had no chance of winning the Olympic title. But at least we saw a bit of what he's capable of doing there. Got up for the toe loop after the axel, and he's an actor on ice as well. But the question is it going to be a question of play it again, Kurt, or not? Nice Sojko and loops. Slightly at an angle, he had to battle to hold on to that. And pulled out of the axle, landed very awkwardly. So the technical mark, well, I think more a pony than a horse. 5.8 is a touch generous. He gets 2 of them for technical merit. There was plenty in the program, but by no means all of it came off as he would have wished, or indeed as he is capable. And artistic impression. 5.9 at the end from Canada. The rest are 5.8s except one from Denmark. Well, he won't be able to ride it away from the kiss and cry. But it's a memento from this Olympic Games. He can look at those ones for a moment and only wish they had been there at the end of the competition. Well, that's all from the Hammer Amphitheatre for the moment, but we'll be back here later in the program.
Ukraine, Viktor Petrenko.
From the Ukraine, Viktor Petrenko. Olympic champion in 1992 and also world champion in 1992. He came back for the European Championships this year and is the European champion of 94. One of the most exciting and gracious skaters that there is. Beautiful start, tremendous height on the triple axel and the double toe loop that followed, but the height on that axel. But that was a very strange looking loop. Triple loops was okay. As was that toe Sojko flip. Certainly has style and presentation. triple flip, the first one of the two jumps. Triple axel, double toe loop. It came off beautifully. He is very pleased, and the audience very receptive. Viktor has a great style, a marvelous presence on the ice. Well, perhaps some of the items were not as good athletically, but artistically, the way he presented them, they really were good. And the Ukrainian flags flying high. He moves around the ice so well. The presentation really is something very special indeed.
And most of it done facing the judges. He went to the opera for his music, from Cavalleria Rusticana, from Rigoletto and La Traviata.
The next group may take the ice
And
for the
except
6
for
minutes
one extraordinary loop that he pulled out of, put it all together with some style. Thought a lot about the triple flip here. He's had better running edges than that. The double toe loop that followed. In he comes with the forward jump, the axel, and toe loop again following. The moment Browning has proved to be the best free skater, Boitano second and Cousins third, but of course their positions in the technical program counts in 2 marks, but 5-9 technical merit given by the Romanian judge, and a whole string of 5-7s. Where will that move him up? In the overall competition, Boitano, Cousins, Browning is the order. Artistic marks have got to be very good. There's a 6 from Romania. Well, that could be expected after the 5-9 for the technical mark. 5-8 from Japan, 5-8 from Denmark and France, 5-8 from Great Britain, and the Olympic champion is in the lead, followed by the world champion Kurt Browning, followed by the 1988 Olympic champion Brian Boitano, and followed by the British champion Stephen Cousins. We'll be back for more figure skating.
In evaluating a skater's ability, judges looked at 3 categories: jumping, spinning, and by far the most overshadowed, footwork. In what can seem at times completely out of control, a skater can cover the ice moving at speed as fast as he possibly can to show control and creativity. So important is the footwork that it is 2 of the 8 required elements in the technical program.
1984 Olympic champion Scotty Hamilton demonstrating the value of fast feet. And few of the contenders here tonight have faster feet or faster hands for that matter than the man who comes into tonight's free skate lying in second place, Canada's Elvis Stojko.
Kellogg Sustain proudly presents this profile of an Olympian.
When you've been named after the king of rock and roll, you better have some stage presence. Sightings of Elvis may occur on a regular basis, but here it isn't Presley who looms larger than life. This is Elvis Stojko. When you see him working out on the heavy bag, you think he's a classy little welterweight. Then he cuts loose with a couple of kicks and you say, uh-oh, he's one of those guys.
I started out martial arts when I was 10 years old, and I got my black belt when I was 16.
That was in karate. This is kung fu, a martial art that allows him to stretch his 5 feet 6 inches and discipline his mind and body for his real sport, figure skating.
Is there a tie between the two?
I think there is. Martial arts has really helped my skating in the mental state as well as the physical. I've seen martial arts done to music, and it's really cool. It's different. I like to put that on the ice and have a different side of skating instead of just the ballet side. My long program is based around the movie The Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, and it's not totally all martial arts. It's got a martial art flavor.
Stojko's mentor is David Stevenson, who teaches him his martial moves and lessons on living up to his name.
When I first started working with Elvis, I said to him, I want you to think like a king. I want you to think like you own the stadium, you own the ice.
A case can be made for martial arts as a useful discipline for figure skating, but not for Stojko's other passion.
My dad got me into dirt bikes when I was 7 years old, a couple years before I started martial arts. It's basically my second passion in my life.
Elvis claims it's not as dangerous as it looks.
The bike only goes as fast as you want it to go. You don't try anything stupid, and it's a lot more stable than some people think on a bike.
Whatever the mold is for figure skaters, you don't fit it, do you, with the martial arts and the dirt biking?
Not really. I like figure skating to be the real rough sport. We wear no padding, and we come down out of like 3 feet of air, 3.5 feet of air, and a distance of maybe about 15, 20 feet, and spinning at like mega top speeds and going at pretty good speeds down the ice, and it's a lot of it's dangerous.
Danger doesn't seem to concern Elvis very much. He's a worker, a disciplined guy who tries to cram 65 minutes into every hour.
I'm always pushing myself beyond my limits to my capabilities, beyond those, just to get better for myself and get to where I want to go.
Where he wants to go is to the top. He's already KO'd Kurt Browning to become the Canadian national champion. He's only 21. He has time, talent, and energy in his corner.
And this is the gentleman from whom we are expecting a great deal. Elvis Stojko, Canadian champion. He was second in the technical program, but looking generally, he has been doing tremendously well in his jumps. Very powerful jumper indeed. That's a triple looks to start with. Triple axel, triple toe. Triple loop there. And a triple axel there. Flip. Moving around the serpentine step sequence. And a triple salto there. That was an excellent spin to finish. Well, the powerful jumping, we saw it. Somehow the part of the linking routine was a bit slow at the beginning and built up towards the end. But certainly he's a very powerful skater, Elvis Stojko. And the Canadians have thrown their flowers onto the ice and they're approving of it. It'll be very interesting to see, though, how he's judged artistically compared with some of the other skaters we've seen. Athletically, very strong.
His music was the soundtrack of the Bruce Lee story. Indeed, the sash that he wore in his outfit was given to him by Bruce Lee. He's a great fan of karate. This was the triple Lutz with which he began his program, and it was an excellent one. But then he moved to the other end of the ice and seemed to me to pull out of what might even have been a combination jump. But his... There we are. But he put together a triple axel here and followed it with the triple toe. Known as a good jumper, seems to have established his own style now, and the judges have been more appreciative of it in terms of artistic impression. That was the triple flip. Dudley looking a little unsure. Bushi Kessler, choreographer. Now, these should be high. 5 9s, all except 2. They think that will be good enough. But it's certainly not going to be easy to surpass. But let's see what happens with the artistic impression mark when that comes, because that in the end could be decisive. But he has set a very high technical content for those to follow. There are 4 more to go. Down 5-5 and 5-6 though, 2 of the 9 marks for artistic impression, and bringing a few whistles. He is in the lead, having won the free program, and he is in first position overall. We'll be back for more figure skating after.
And onto the ice comes the character, Philippe Candeloro, the man who really does make people think when he starts his program, as he looks as though he's thinking now. He was 3rd in the technical program. Great start. Two triple toe loops. Triple loops, he turns very fast in the air. Into his step sequences, that's when the character comes out. Nice triple salto. Nice triple loop. He is a character, all right. What a pity. There's the Candeloro spin. Obviously, he captures the imagination of the public because he's such a character. Everything was fine until that very last jump. It was probably going to be a triple axel, but there we go. Everything else was fine. He moved around the ice in his own special way, very special, and the audience really like him. But what a pity. He got all those jumps going good, and then the very last jump of all, well, it just didn't happen.
Well, has the gold medal slipped from his grasp in that last moment before his breakdance spin? Certainly it was a triple axel. He spent a lot of time practicing it earlier in the day. And he showed in the earlier combination that he was perfectly capable of doing it, because that's what we just saw. Triple toe loop, a second combination. He had to battle a little bit with that. It's now the Lutz. Watch the shoulders. They turn the wrong way around from the one you're expecting. Perfectly executed. A very artistic performance. Had lots of variations and a little bit of acting to go with it. But there it came to grief. And how much will it cost him? 5.8s, 3 of them, the technical merit marks, are not clearly as good as those of Elvis Stojko. 5.5 from Japan, being the lowest point of a performance to the theme music of The Godfather. André Brunet, his coach. Artistic impression. 5.9s, and it brings up whistles from the crowd. 5.62 from Belarus. He is in second position overall, but the crowd thought that he deserved better marks for artistic. Actually finished 4th in the free program, but is in second position overall. And more figure skating coming up.
And here comes the man who is in the lead after the technical program. Alexei Urmanov. He was first. Bronze medalist in the European Championship, the Russian champion, and a very elegant skater indeed. And the height on that triple axel was brilliant. Toe loop there. And there are triple looks. All of them performed with grace. axel, double toe. Excellent. Triple loop. Moved quite a bit across the ice on that spin. I think it was a good spin. As is that one. Right on the center. Well, that's the only mistake he's made so far on that triple flip. Picked it up, he's come back. Well, it was a very, very smooth program by Alexei Urmanov. His two Canadian rivals there, looking and thinking and wondering whether that slip in that jump right at the end of the program could have an effect on keeping him away from the medals. He moved around the ice beautifully, he presented it well, and everything was certainly going great until then.
Well, the chance was certainly there for him. But sometimes when you have to skate for a little over 4.5 minutes, it can sap the strength of one or two. Start was excellent, the triple axel. This was the triple lutz. And this, I think, is going to be the combination. Up for the double toe loop following the triple axel. But this was a flip which very nearly became a flop. He managed to pull out in time. His body was at such an angle when he was in the air. Well, Stojko had 7.59s for technical merit. They are not as good, but there are all bar two at 5.8.
Marks for technical merit, 5.8, 5.8, 5.7, 5.8.
So the artistic impression marks will be weighted with some trepidation by Elvis Stojko. 5.9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.9s. Alexei Mishin looks with concern, trying to work it out over the two programs, what that will do. These are the positions the judges are putting him in for the free program. Fifth says France, but Alexei Mishin says thumbs up. Alexei Urmanov is the new Olympic champion.
Alexei Urmanov, Russia.
So, gold to Russia's Alexei Urmanov, the bronze medalist from the last World Championships, and only the second skater from the former Soviet Union to win the Olympic men's title. Silver to Canada's Elvis Stojko, a massive improvement from his 7th 2 years ago in Albertville. And bronze to the man they call Candeloro the Barbarian, France's first medal in this event since 1972. That completes the men's skating competition, and we'll be back in Lillehammer after the